guys, it's Diana. Welcome back to my channel, and today I want to talk about Disability Pride Month because it is July and July is Disability Pride Month. Also, I'm sorry there was no video last week. We had company visiting basically for about 2 weeks straight and I could not find time to record. I wanted to pre-record something, but that didn't happen. Disability Pride Month, what is it? It is basically like June being Pride Month for the LGBTQ community, but July is Pride Month for the disability community. Obviously, there is overlap within those two spaces, but for the most part, Disability Pride Month is about being accepting of your disability and bringing more awareness to your disability. And there are various events and parades and things in cities throughout the country. I don't know what they're doing now, if anything, due to the COVID pandemic that is still going on. Regardless, the ADA was signed in July of 1990. That was 3 years before I was born. Can you imagine that? It's been 31 years since the signing and passage of the Americans with Disabilities Act, and there's still a long way to go. However, since then, the mayor of New York at the time, quite a few years ago, Mayor de Blasio, had declared July to be Disability Pride Month, and now here we are. It's 2021. There are various events throughout the cities in the United States, such as LA. I think San Antonio was one of them, New York City. I thought that Boston was one of them as well. I know that in 1990, when the ADA was passed, there was a celebration in Boston, but I don't know if they're still doing it. I want to talk a little bit about my disability, which I've done a lot on this channel, but more so like the fact that I was not for the longest time accepting of my visual impairment, and I've had this since birth. I went through phases of it. I guess like I didn't really realize that I was different from other kids until, I don't know, I want to say like kindergarten, first grade. That was, you know, when I was in school with other kids who were my sighted peers. As you guys know, I went to mainstream school. I will link the video up in the cards and down in the description on my whole saga of dealing with K through 12 schooling with a visual impairment. Being in mainstream school, this was my experience. A lot of other blind and disabled children, when they were in school, have very different experiences, ranging from way worse to really, really well. So your mileage may vary. I have been meaning to do a video on my experience getting my undergraduate degree with a disability. We will get there at some point. It is in the pipeline for the future. I just don't know when. I went through a long period in my life where I didn't want to use my cane. I've had a cane since I was about 8 years old. I will also link the unboxing video for that up in the cards and down below. I got a new cane recently. It's a long story, but I didn't want to use it. I didn't want to use any of the low vision aids that were given to me. Like I had a little monocular telescope thing. I had learned how to read and write Braille. I was not forced to use Braille in school. It was just given to me as a tool in case I wanted to use it later on in life. I didn't want to do or use anything that made me stand out and made me different. Now keep in mind, like I was raised for the most part like any other normal child without a disability. Like my parents didn't shelter me because of my blindness. I was able to try a bunch of sports and activities in school regardless of my disability. Yeah, there were like concerned about some things here and there, but I wasn't told not to do something because of my blindness. Well, there was actually one incident. I was in high school. I had a good friend at the time and they were involved in color guard, which is basically flag and rifle turning. It is a lot more than that, but you twirl the flag and you twirl the rifle and you do it to steps and music, and it's very complicated. And I wanted to try it. I was told by my friend at the time, who was in our school's color guard, that I would not do well, basically, because of my disability, and that really hurt me. There was another girl who was a couple of years younger than us who was involved in color guard as well. She was also visually impaired, but she also had cerebral palsy, so she needed a lot more assistance. I don't know how involved she was in color guard itself. I just know that she was on the team. I also know other blind people who were told by their peers in school that they wouldn't be able to perform in a play or do a mundane activity because they didn't think that the sighted person didn't think that the blind person could achieve that due to their blindness. And that's really, really crappy, because I sometimes struggle with confidence issues. I know other people with disabilities do as well, and people in general without them do. To be told, oh, you can't do something because you are disabled, come on, that's not cool. First off, that's not nice. Secondly, like, the non-disabled person really doesn't know what the disabled person can and cannot achieve. My parents, for example, they don't know what I can see because they don't have my vision. Like, nobody knows what I can and can't see except for me. Even me explaining it to you, like, it's not really the whole broad spectrum of it. Same with another person who has a different type of blindness. I can never grasp what they can and cannot see because I don't have their same visual impairment. There are goggles and things like that that can simulate blindness, but they're not accurate. Basically, Disability Pride Month is to kind of try to bring more awareness to disability as a whole, and how there's more people with disabilities out now in public than there were like 20-30 years ago, especially before the passage of the ADA. And sometimes I still have people who approach me and ask if I need help, which is fine, but also are just, sometimes even now in 2021, me as a grown adult woman, I still have people come up to me and just act so amazed that I am out in public in the world, like that I managed to leave the house and do things independently. That's really infantilizing because, like, again, I'm a grown person, I am independent. Yeah, I may need a little bit of assistance with a couple of things here and there. Like, I can't see what's on the grocery store shelves, for example, unless I pick up the item and actually like look at it, or if I stand really closely to it. So in that case, I would either ask somebody, go shopping with somebody who can see better than I can, or use an app on my phone such as Ira or Be My Eyes to assist with that task, which is basically a sighted person on the other end looking through my phone's camera. That's not to say that I can't do it. It's that I have other resources that I can tap into to be able to do it to the best ability. I've also noticed that I've been treated very differently when I go out without my cane compared to when I use it, which, like, I really never go out without my cane now. Like, I bring it everywhere I go. There's definitely a glaring difference in how people perceive and treat me with my cane versus without, because, like I've said in the past, I can pass for a sighted person. Like, nobody would know that I am blind or visually impaired until I, like, pull out my phone and hold it really close to my face or something. Or if I have to look at something really, really closely in a store, I can kind of guess what items are if I don't have my cane and make an educated guess, and usually I'm right. But I mainly use the cane not only so I don't like run into things when I'm out shopping or out walking, but also to identify myself as a person who is blind or visually impaired. I know that there are ID canes. They're not meant to be used as a mobility cane. I don't have one. My boyfriend has one. He mainly only uses it while going through airports. I personally have found the mobility cane to be very helpful for me, not only to ensure that I don't injure myself by tripping over a step or something, but to identify myself to other people around me that, hey, I can't see that well. And yeah, that's kind of been an invitation for some people to be really creepy or really overbearing or infantilizing, and it sucks, but that's not my fault. That's just how the public still perceives people with disabilities. And I'm not saying that like the whole of the general public is that way. There are a lot of people who are very educated, but you can only educate so much. And don't even get me started on when I was working Fawn, when she was my guide dog, because that also opened up a whole new amount of nonsense with people just wanting to pet the dog and distract the dog and ask if I was training the dog and ask me why there was a dog in the store and try to bar me from going into a place with the dog, which happened once, and that was very quickly resolved by me basically telling them that they're wrong. I don't even know where I am right now in this. I am rambling. We are so far off the track of Disability Pride Month, but it is Disability Pride Month. Happy Disability Pride Month. Maybe you didn't know it was Disability Pride Month. I certainly didn't until a friend of mine asked me if I was doing a video about it, and here we are. So I hope that you guys will also be doing Disability Pride Month videos. I tried to find out if there was like a tag or something related to it. I didn't see any. If there is, let me know. And I will probably do another video on that, like maybe answering some commonly asked questions about blindness, which I kind of have done in the past, but I feel like that more can be done now, especially as time goes on. Also, in that same vein, if you have a question for me about my disability or about blindness and visual impairment in general, leave it down in the comments. I am really hoping to do an actual Q&A at some point, and I need questions to answer. So with that, I am gonna go. Happy Disability Pride Month. Join me next week for hopefully unboxing the July 2021 Munch Pack, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.